Hello, Year 4, and welcome to another day of home learning. In reading, of course, we have been looking at Chapter 1 of Edward Tulane and his miraculous adventures, which are soon to start. So, before we begin with our inference questions, we're going to have a look at our key vocabulary that we learnt on Tuesday and rehearsed yesterday. So this time we're going to learn them a bit differently. So rather than me giving the word and you doing the action, this time I'm going to do the action and you've then got to call out at your laptops what the word is. So it's a bit trickier this time. So I'm going to give you a second, just clear your mind. Think about what those 8 bits of vocabulary are. Think about, can you match them with the actions? And now I'm going to do my first one. So I'll do the action and then you call out what the word is to your laptop screen. So let's begin with a tip of the hat. If I'm feeling confident, I am jaunty. Hopefully all of you calling that out there. Well done. That's the first word that we learned. Next word. So having loads of money, I'm paying someone to do something, I'm employing them. Commissioned. Commissioned, when you pay someone to do something. Very good. Next word. If it's perfect, exactly as you wanted it, it is custom. Custom. Hopefully loads of you calling that one out there. Okay, on to our next word now. Having to move back for this one might give you a clue. If you're piercing or going through something, penetrate. Penetrate. Well done. Next word. Get ready. If I'm putting my hand up, I need to ask something. Requested. Requested. Think if you're in the classroom, what you might need to request or what you're requesting when you put your hand up. It may be to go to the toilet, it may be because you need a drink of water, for instance. Okay, next word. What could that be? Hopefully loads of you calling out at your laptop screens. Don't be shy. Initially, the number 1 meaning at first or in the beginning, initially. Good. Okay, I think 2 more words to go. Now, these ones have quite similar actions. So maybe as a hint, have a look at where I'm looking because they're quite similar here. So I'm looking down at someone. That may give you the difference. So hopefully loads of you calling out condescending in a really nice condescending tone, which suggests that you're better than someone. You're looking down at someone because you think you're superior, more intelligent, or better than them. Good. And so last one, hopefully through process of elimination, you know what this one's going to be. Like I'm finding something disgusting. Hopefully all calling out unsavory. Unsavory meaning distasteful, maybe a bit nasty, or impolite. Good stuff, guys. So what I'd like you to do now, because I've read the first chapter of Edward Tulane for you twice now, once on Tuesday and once on Wednesday. What you can either do is go and watch the attached video of me reading it again and follow along, which is really important, not just listening to me like an audiobook, but making sure you're following along and reading with me. Or preferably, what would be quite good now that you've got an understanding of chapter 1 is you can click on the attached text in the pro forma and just read it yourself. So just go through, pause the video, read chapter 1 yourself, or you can maybe read it out loud to a family member or something like that. So those are your 2 options. So pause the video now. 1, go and listen to the video of me reading it and read along with me. Or 2, find the text that is also attached on the document and then just read that quietly by yourself or read it out loud or maybe with a family member. Okay, so pause the video now. Okay, hopefully that means that you guys have actually read chapter 1 again and are fully ready for our inference questions. So, what is the difference between literal and inference questions? Well, hopefully we know that literal questions are where the answer can be easily found in the text or can be found in the text. For example, one from yesterday was how tall is Edward Tulane? And then you can literally go through the text and it'll say Edward Tulane was 3 feet tall. So it gives you the answer right there in the text. Now, what's different about inference questions is that the answer may not be in the text. You may find it hard or even impossible to find. So you've got to kind of be like a detective and pick up clues in the text that then form your answer and give you clues as to what the answer could be. So what I've got here is I've got a practice inference question in front of me. So I'm going to just share my screen for you here. Excellent. So hopefully you can all see that in front of me. So this one isn't actually on your sheet, but it's just an example one. How can you tell the rabbit has nice clothes? How can you tell the rabbit has nice clothes? So have a look. What should I be doing first? Okay, I'm going to have a look at steps to success. So number one, underline the keywords in the question. So just like yesterday with our literal. So which are the words that I think are going to be most important in the text? How can you tell the rabbit has nice clothes? Well, definitely rabbit, because it shows that we're not talking about Abeline's clothes or her grandmother's clothes or parents' clothes. So we're definitely talking about the rabbits. And then also nice and clothes. So we want to look for a section that tells us about Edward's or the rabbit's clothes and why they are nice. Now remember, just like with yesterday, we may not have the exact words in the text. So instead of rabbit, think what other words could we look for there? Maybe Edward, or it could be the bunny or something like that. In the same way, it might not say nice clothes. It could be just mention socks or shoes or trousers. So it may not use those exact words. So let's have a little look through our text now. I'm just going to put on the there we go, on the visualizer. So just to read that question for you again, how can you tell the rabbit has nice clothes? And we're looking for rabbit nice clothes between pages 14 and 16. Here we go. So I'm just going to skim through nice and quickly. I like to use a pen for this. So they're talking about his eyes here, I can see. Okay, this section is all about his whiskers, so that's probably not going to be very helpful. Now it's talking about Abeline here. So it mentions dressed, but it's talking about she dressed herself for school. Okay, so we have rabbit written here, so that's useful. Does anything else in this sentence help us? Okay, extraordinary. That could definitely be a synonym for nice. And also I can see straight afterwards as well, we've got wardrobe, which of course talks about the clothes. So in this sentence, we've got rabbit, extraordinary, and wardrobe. So I'm definitely going to read around these words, which you can see here is step number 3, read around the key words. So the China rabbit was in possession, which means that he was in possession of an extraordinary wardrobe composed of handmade silk suits, custom shoes fashioned from the finest leather and designed specifically for his rabbit feet, and a wide array of hats equipped with holes so that they could easily fit over Edward's large and expressive ears. Brilliant. So it says we need to find some of the nice clothes that he wears. We don't need to list them on and on and on, because that can get a bit repetitive and a bit dull and boring. So just a couple to answer our question and give us some evidence would be perfect. So I'm going to go for his handmade silk suits and custom shoes. So the very first ones that we see. So how can you tell the rabbit has nice clothes? So I'm going to put the rabbit, or you put Edward, has nice, has handmade silk suits and custom shoes. Full stop. So, next thing, check that your answer makes sense. The rabbit has handmade silk suits and custom shoes. It certainly makes sense. It's a full sentence. That should work for me. Now, before I move on, what do I have to do? What do I have to do before I move on? Have I completed everything that I should have? So hopefully you've seen that I haven't checked step number 5. Does it answer the question? So let's have a look at what the question was. How can you tell the rabbit has nice clothes? The rabbit has handmade silk suits and custom shoes. Now think to yourself, pause the video if you want. Does that answer the question fully? Or could I make that in fact a bit better? Okay, so hopefully we will have seen that I haven't reworded the sentence to answer it properly. So I've mentioned that yes, he has silk suits and custom shoes, but I haven't related that back to the question. So perhaps think of a way that you can do it. So if you want, pause the video and can you rewrite this answer maybe in a way that is more suitable? So how can you tell the rabbit has nice clothes? I can tell the rabbit has nice clothes because, much better way of starting it. I've reworded the question and made it really clear what I am answering. Because his boots are silk, which is a really soft, quite expensive material, and handmade. And his shoes are custom. Now, let's go back to step 5. Does it answer the question? How can you tell the rabbit has nice clothes? I can tell the rabbit has nice clothes because his suits are silk and handmade and his shoes are custom. I think we should all agree that this answer is a lot better because it rewords the question and makes it incredibly clear what we're doing. So what I'd like you to do now is crack on with your own inference questions. Pause the video and I will leave the steps to success there. So you can see it's really important to include that step 5. Does it answer the question? Because you could quite easily make a mistake like I did there. So pause the video. When you're ready to go through the answers, unpause it and we will do that next. Good luck, guys. Okay, hopefully now you have answered all of those questions and you're ready to go through the answers. Now, when we're looking on Seesaw, Miss Boots, Miss Jones and myself are really looking for full sentences. For the sake of fitting them on this sheet here, I have, however, done one-word answers just because it makes it easier to mark, but I'm hoping that yours are full sentences. So, number 1, find and copy the word that shows that Edward appeared to look clever. So the word that shows that is intelligent. So think about how you could have put that in a full sentence. So hopefully we've written something like, the word that shows Edward appeared to look clever is intelligent. Just sounds so much better and so much clearer. Right, question 2. Why did Edward not like to think of unpleasant thoughts on page 14? Because they brought him down and made him feel, or made him feel saddened. So you can choose one of those or both of those for the mark there. And remember, as a full sentence, how could you do that? How could you turn it into a full sentence? Hopefully you've written something like, Edward did not like to think of unpleasant thoughts because they brought him down or made him feel saddened. Question 3. What does Abilene do to Edward as a sign of affection? Now, a sign of affection means something that you show, showing someone that you love them or you care for them. So the sign of affection is she kissed the tips of his ears. That's what Abilene does to show that she loves Edward. Question 4. What does Edward think of himself? Use evidence, sorry, that should be from, not form the text, to support your answer on page 15. Now, this is a really good example of an inference question here. It's not saying what he thinks of himself, but you've got to pick up some individual bits of evidence from the text. So anything that includes he thought of himself very special because he liked to look at himself as he cut an excellent figure and he never ceased to be amazed by his own fineness. Those are the 2 quotes, I think, that really show that he sort of loves himself, or the fact that he liked to look at himself in the reflection, I'd say as well. Number 5, tick the word that is the odd one out when describing Edward. pages 13 to 15. So this is kind of what you get to, what you've got to know about him in those pages. So elegant, ordinary, delicate, well-shaped. So I think definitely the one that stands out there as being odd one out is ordinary. He is certainly not ordinary. Number 6. Why did Abeline's parents find it charming that Abeline considered Edward real? It's because they didn't think he was real, but they thought that it was sweet that she did. So if you remember, when they sit round the dinner table, they find it quite sweet and quite cute, the fact that she believes that he's real. Number 7. Why do you think that all adults condescended to Edward? So remember, what does condescending mean again? Remember, condescending, looking down at someone. So why do you think that all the adults looked down at Edward's, condescending to him? Because they thought he wasn't real and therefore not as important as them. And last one, number 8. How can you tell Pellegrina, who's Pellegrina again? So hopefully we remember that's her grandmother, Abeline's grandmother. How can you tell Pellegrina went to a lot of effort to make Edward a special gift for Abeline, page 17, because she commissioned him especially by a master craftsman in France. So she paid for him to be made. And then I'm really, really excited to look on Seesaw later on today to see some of the excellent examples that you have done for this extension. How do you think Edward felt during the night? I'd really like to hear what your thoughts are and your opinions are on that. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Hopefully you did really, really well on those, guys. We've got one more day tomorrow where we're going to be looking at the big question and planning and answering that together. Really looking forward to it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and rest of your home learning, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.